Rev up your engines!
Shady car dealers win as consumer protection rules are thrown out of court. Now, the FTC's proposed rules would have stopped dealers and service departments from sneaking in hidden fees at the last minute when you buy a vehicle. But guess what? On Monday, the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the National Automotive Dealers Association, which is called NADA, and got rid of the Federal Trade Commission's congressional-backed cars, which is combating auto retail scams rule. So now when you buy a car, dealerships can continue sneaking hidden fees into the purchases. In 2022, the FTC said we want to ban dealerships from hiding the fees and using bait-and-switch tactics to drive the price up. When you buy something, you'll see there'll be paperwork fees, contract for services you didn't ask for, underbody protections, gap insurance, and redundant warranties right out of the box when you buy a new car. They were gonna force them to have a transparent offering price to customers to show you how it's all broke down. Well, guess what? Car Dealership Association won, and now they don't have to do this. Rules that the government made were finalized in January 2024, but immediately it was put on hold because it was challenged by NADA. And guess what? The court said, oh, no, you don't have to tell them this stuff. And here's the BS. The NADA guy said the CARS rule could add 60 to 80 minutes to every transaction because it involved new untested forms. That this extra hour would cost customers $1.3 billion a year in lost time. Oh, yeah, they lost their time. You ever go buy a car, they want to stall you. They want to get you as much money. Their hours you spend at a car dealership, right? And they're saying, well, it'll cost consumers because you're not working now and you're arguing with these people. These people are the ones that created the log jam in the first place. Look, most dealerships don't pay their salesmen anything except commission. They don't sell, they don't make any money. So they're not paid by the hour. So they don't care if they're blabbing away for 3 hours. If you sell your car at a higher price, they get more percentage profit. If they sell at a higher profit, that's how their salary is, right? And now these scumbag judges say, oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, it's going to cost people more, so we're going to stop this rule. Such BS. As one guy said, look, I'm not a mathematician, but if we believe the claims, I think after $3.4 billion in saving and $1.3 billion in lost time, customers would still be up $2.1 billion of what they're not paying for that they don't want. I had a guy the other day. He was buying a car and he says his fee was like $800-something. And I said, that's just a made-up fee. So he looked up, and it was just a fee that the dealership had added on to it. They didn't do anything. They just decided to stick this fee up. It wasn't a fee for the registration. That was separate. They charged extra for that. But it's nonsense, and they shouldn't allow people to do this. Or if they're doing it, it should be on there when they're selling you the car. They're not saying, you get this car for $15,800, then you find out it's $18,000. No, they need to tell you the whole price at a time. But now they don't have to because some stupid judge agreed with this nonsense that the scumbag car dealerships came up with. It's just too much. Used cars that you should not buy, especially if you're a new driver, you don't know anything about cars, you don't know about maintaining them and what you got to do because they're junky, they break down all the time, and it's just a horrible all-around buy. Now, one is the Ford Mustang. And a lot of that has to do with the people who buy them, rag the crap out of them, and especially do not buy a used Mustang with that 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. Yeah, it's got 345 horsepower, but as it breaks down, it has less and less horsepower. They break down all the time. The guys that buy them generally rag the heck out of them, and not only do they have engine problems because that little engine putting out all that horsepower with the turbo, but they also have those 10-speed automatics that have a lot of problems. So stay away from used Mustangs, especially the 4-cylinder ones. Another one is the Jeep Wrangler. I mean, the Jeep. They fall apart as they age. Now, a lot of guys take them off-road and beat the heck out of them, so of course, you'd have to have a mechanic check it out for your body. You don't know, it might have been wiped out going off-road. But just even as on-road only vehicles on the highway and in town, they do not hold up. Their quality has been going down for decades. Strangely enough, it started to go up. It went down when Chrysler bought them. It started to go up when Mercedes bought Chrysler, but Mercedes lost so much. Fiat bought them, and the quality of the Jeeps went, and then Stellantis took over, and they fell off a cliff into the Marianas Trench. So don't buy a Wrangler either. The Mercedes ML350 is one of the worst cars out there for new buyers, the way they fall apart, but basically most Mercedes are that way. I wouldn't advise any new drivers to buy a used Mercedes-Benz. The same thing with the BMW M3. Guys like them. They're fast and quick, extremely high maintenance. They fall apart, and no new driver should get it. That's only for guys that really know cars. A lot of them work on them themselves. Definitely not a car to buy used for a new driver. Another one on the other end of the spectrum is the Chevrolet Aveo. They're junky, they're rackety, they fall apart. And if you don't know anything about cars, you don't want to buy one of those. It won't cost much because their resale values stink, but you're much better off getting like a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic that maybe you got to put a little bit of work into it, but at least it can last a long time. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is the Mazda Speed 3. Now, Mazda makes some decent vehicles, but the Mazda Speed 3 is their little zippy car, right? And what happens to those are, if you're going to buy one used, a lot of kids buy them and they soup them up, they don't know what they're doing, and they rag the heck out of them. Then when you buy a used Mazda Speed 3, it's had modifications that probably weren't even done right. A guy bring me one, backfired all the time. I said, look, he put all this aftermarket crap. Did he save the old stuff? And the guy says, yeah, it's in the trunk. I said, let me put the old stuff back on, then it ran fine. But do you not want to buy one of those used because people modify them often incorrectly, beat the heck out of them, and then, Mazda doesn't make bad cars. They make decent cars these days. But you don't want to buy that particular one for all those reasons. So if you're thinking about buying a Tesla electric car, you might think twice for various reasons. Guy on the internet just showed the reasons that he would not buy one again because there's hidden costs that he never thought about until he's owned it for 6 years. You have to have a home charger put in your house. It costs money. That's got to be a level 2 charger because if you use level 1, it can take 3 days to charge the car up, right? Even with a level 2 at your house, it might take 7 to 8 hours. So there's that inconvenience. But on top of that, if you do charge away from your house, it's super expensive because those people have to make a profit and they're charging extra money. I've seen people pay 5 times what it costs them to charge it at their house, which is relatively cheap at the house. They paid 5 times as much when they were traveling and using one of these big chargers. They lose a lot of range in cold weather. They're liquid electrolyte batteries. They have to heat themselves up so that they don't freeze and then destroy themselves, right? So they use the energy just to keep themselves warm, just sitting there when you're not even using them. And in the cold weather, the batteries are less efficient, the motors are less efficient, and they use more power. So you got to think about that too. Another reason is a lot of states now are taxing electric cars because they're not getting taxed. You're not buying gasoline. Part of the gasoline is the tax for building the roads. They don't get the tax to build the roads. They can't build and fix the roads, so you got to pay that. And another, your insurance rates might go up the roof because when these electric cars get in small accidents, that battery gets dented and it's on the bottom of the car. The insurance company's going to say you got to replace it because if it's dented and then the battery shorts out, starts a fire, somebody could be killed. So it costs a fortune to fix them when they're in wrecks. And the last one is something a lot of people don't think about: tires. One, they have special tires that cost a fortune, but they wear out faster because they're higher horsepower cars and they weigh a lot more. Just wears the tires out faster. I've seen people wear out tires in Teslas in as little as 15,000 miles when the same people, their previous tires, they get 40 to 50,000 miles out of them. So think about that before you buy one of those things. All right, for those naysayers that say, I don't know what I'm talking about, here's an email from one of your viewers, Mason Locklear, and he's showing that the stuff I'm talking about actually works. He says, Scotty, I finally tried a bottle of Bernie's ATS fuel cleaner last night and drove my 2010 Ford Escape XLT around for roughly 20 minutes at high speeds to let the cleaner work faster. And I can say the drive was smoother, the engine noise quieted down, the transmission shifted way smoother. Thanks for all your help. Nobody pays me to advertise their products. Bernie's a nice guy. He's got great products. He sent me stuff. He's been sending me stuff for years to try out. I try it out and I'm like, hey, this stuff really works. The problem is, in today's society, unfortunately, in order to get something like a cleaner that a little guy like he makes in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to get it on the shelves of the store costs tens of millions of dollars to get companies to accept to put it in their stores, and advertising budgets of tens of millions of dollars. The stuff that's out there that you go to the auto parts store doesn't work as good as this stuff does. But he'll never probably ever get into all the big stores because it costs too much money to market stuff like that. Just because something's on the store shelves doesn't mean that it works. Seafoam, okay? Doesn't have the cleaners the other ones have. But people buy the heck out of it because they're in the auto parts stores and the people push it. They're often next to the register where you check out. Just because something's on a shelf and people buy it doesn't mean it actually works. A lot of that stuff is just marketing, costs money. Bernie stuff is real. I've had great results with it. Customers have had great results. It is an engine flush too, and it will get all the goop and carbon out of your engine from the oil side, where the fuel side does it in the fuel system, and the oil does it in the oil system. The only difference being the oil cleaner, you put it in, rev it to like 1500 RPM for half an hour, then you turn it off, then you change the oil filter, and then it all comes out. You don't drive with the cleaner in it. Cleaner's real strong, and it cleans all the crud out of your engine. You'll never see these in big stores because he didn't have the marketing force to do that stuff. Everybody other stuff out there that probably doesn't work as well. I've tried a bunch of them. I've never seen anything work as good as his. You're never going to see it in any big stores. That's why I'm here, to help people out to find stuff that actually works better. And I mean, and if you know somebody that's got something that works better, have them send it to me, ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. They can send me and I'll try it out. I honestly try out anything to see if it works. I find a better mousetrap, I'll tell you people about it. Well, here we go again with our government wasting money. Ford just closed a $9.63 billion Department of Energy grant to supercharge 3 EV battery factories. So here's $9.63 billion of our taxpayer money is going to Ford Motor Company to make EV batteries for vehicles that people generally do not want to buy. I can't wait to see what happens 5 years from now. Let's see. Did these things go? Or did all this money our government threw into these factories and they all shut down and the money went down the toilet, you know? Be interested to see what happens. Hopefully I'll be around by 2029. You never know. But if I'm around, I can't wait to see what actually happens, right? But I'm sick of government money going to private companies for electric batteries, electric cars. They're not proven technology yet. If they're really serious about that crap, tell them, okay, you guys build the cars, that's your problem. We'll build the infrastructure. We'll build new power plants. We'll do that. They're not doing that because that costs way too much money, right? They're just, give them this money, see what happens, right? No, you got to have an infrastructure. If they want to do it right, put your electric infrastructure where your money is. Build new plants, build new transmission lines. And don't think that windmills and solar panels are going to make enough electricity, because they won't. Well, yet another company is dropping their EV models. Now this one is, if you don't know, Aston Martin. Now, let's face the facts. You have to be ultra rich to buy one anyway, but Aston Martin just announced they're cutting 5% of their workforce, and this was after their fourth quarter losses of 2024. 400% increase in loss. This isn't profit, this is loss. And their debt reached $1.47 billion, which is up 43% from 2023. Their debt went up and their losses went up. Boy, sounds like a losing company to me. And they're now pushing what they call their long-awaited EV back another year. They're not going to make them this year. Now, let's face the facts. They sold 6,030 cars in the United States last year, right? That's not too many cars. And of course, they sold them to rich snobs. The starting price for their coupe is $245,000. That's a starting price. And it goes up from them. So $250,000 for these stupid cars, right? But people with more money than common sense buy them. As for the rest of us, do we really care that they've canceled their plans of building an EV version this year? You know, we really don't care. But it shows even the rich people aren't buying electric cars. And the case is they're actually buying less cars than regular people are. Mercedes is having a heck of a time selling their electric cars. Yeah, Lucid is on the verge of bankruptcy. The stock is like $2.20 a share. I mean, hey, even the rich people don't want electric cars. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.